Welcome one and all to another Final Fantasy VII walkthrough. Let's continue where we last left off. So, last we left off, we basically had Cloud become the anti-hero that he kind of is, but he does have a split personality, so it's not technically his doing. Just letting you know ahead of time that that's actually what's going on inside the story. I didn't mean he was an anti-hero completely. He's not conscious of doing what he's doing. So I just wanted to rephrase that a little bit because it does get kind of confusing. So we're moving our way up to Bone Village where we're going to get the Lunar Harp. And the Lunar Harp is basically dug up by these guys. You basically pay them 100 gil and they basically dig up and excavate the lunar harp. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna dig up the dig site, and the dig site's right up here. Put 100 gil. And of course, this is the part where basically getting the lunar harp is basically how you continue and progress throughout the story. Nothing. We didn't really get anything on there. Let's try again. We're gonna do normal treasure this time. Yeah, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We just happen to get lucky at not getting anything at the moment. But we're gonna try again. But yeah, basically Cloud, he does have a split personality. It's one of those things that has affected him in the story throughout the game. And now we're actually heading over through the ancient forest where we actually saw Eris the last time. So, oh, there we have it. We got another materia, a summoning materia. We got to collect that. And we're moving through here. We're going to collect this, the water ring. And we're going to move on up through. And, there's a ton of enemies in here. Holy smokes. But we're moving on up. Another enemy. Gotta hand it to Square. They certainly love to make really good enemies. So we're moving. And we're moving on down through here to collect everything from here, because once you pass a certain point, you can't really, you can't really go back. So I'm collecting everything as much as possible before I go any further. So armor armlet, even though it's an armlet, it really doesn't help out much. I already have the rune armlets, which double materia growth, so that's already essential for what we're planning on doing here. We're not going to replace it with something that equips better defense, even though sometimes better defense and better equipment does help sometimes. But it depends on the battle, it depends on what you're trying to do. Depends on the circumstances too. Alright, we're moving on in here. The main area. Oh my gosh, that is illuminating. So go all the way up here, collect the comet materia. So now we got the comet materia. And now we're gonna go over here. And for the moment, we're looking for Eris. That is the actual objective of this particular part of the story. We're trying to find her again. Even though we just had our breakdown as a character, we're looking for her either way. Because the villain is basically looking out for her, and basically we're trying to like keep her from. Well, I mean, the real question is, what exactly is Cloud doing searching for her? Because he has two objectives in his head, you know? I mean, because he does have a split personality, so we don't really know why Cloud is going after her. I mean, his friends are going after her to save her from Sephiroth, but it kind of begs the question as to what is Cloud doing searching for her, because he's got a split personality that he has no control over what he's doing. So now we're going to take a breather here and rest up. But before you do, grab this E skill. I cannot urge you enough. It's right behind the bed. I cannot urge this enough. Grab as many abilities with the third E skill as possible. And then come back here when you're done grabbing all the E skills and get some rest, as it says right there. But I would definitely grab as many abilities as you can as possible. So basically, we're going after Eris, as you can tell. And basically, that's pretty much what's going on in this scene. We have to go down. It's kind of dark for once in the game. It's kind of bizarre that they actually added that element of mystery to it. And we're just moving on in. Apparently, we're hearing her voice, but they don't indicate where to go, but I know exactly where to go. Because that's just how it rolls, you know? They never really indicate where anything is in the game, but I know exactly where to go. Alright, so we're going back in here. And now we gotta go not all the way up here. We already collected that. But we're gonna go downstairs with our new e-skills and everything all equipped. Make sure you have a lot of equipment equipped because this next battle is going to be a little bit challenging. Alright, so we're ready to go. Alright. So now we're going to climb our way up here. We find Eris sitting in the main area. We're just going to make our jumps. And yeah, this part gets a little tricky because Cloud has a split personality where he almost basically can't control this next part. He wants to strike her down with the sword, apparently, but his friends stop him from doing it before he actually does. He's just trying to find out who he is, really. Throughout the story, he just wants to find out who he is. And he's been fighting the split personality throughout the entire story. And ooh, and of course that's the major climax of the scene where basically the villain takes down Eris and she basically dies in the main scene. And yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's very sudden. There's a lot of guilt that plays into the character of Cloud at this point because he basically just lost Eris to the hands of Sephiroth. And of course, Cloud can't basically come to grips with it according to what's going on in there. He doesn't care much about his plans anymore. He just realizes that it just doesn't mean a thing because she's gone essentially. And yeah, this game has a lot of themes of life and death. So they had to represent a form of death while they were making the themes for it. That's the essential part of what this game represents. And yeah, the next battle is going to be a little bit tricky. But of course, the entire time the character Genova, this next quote is very interesting because it says that he is a puppet, and they always mention that throughout the story. And he technically is, if he does have a split personality that he can't control from the Genova aspect of it, he really is a puppet if they're forcing him to do stuff that he really isn't supposed to be doing. And I'm being careful here because this Genova character knows how to reflect moves. So, yeah. Now we just gotta battle it out with the theme playing in the background, which honestly it's a beautiful theme, but it's essential to know that it's like a theme of forgiveness, but at the same time it's a theme of guilt because when you play this the first time, it essentially keeps on playing throughout the entire battle. So now we're regenerating, and now we're just using satellite beam against the Genova character because she's a tough cookie to take down. But yeah, it takes a little while to get rid of the HP points to get the actual thing done properly. We're just gonna play out Behemoth because that way she can't reflect that particular move. And there we go. Blue light. Um, eh. We're gonna heal up a little bit. I'm gonna use Comet Magic next and regen a little bit. Regeneration and boom. Almost there. Ah, bio. There we go. Ah, we missed. Oh, but we got him. We got her. So, yep. So now we just got a L materia mastered, which is a good sign. And we're going to basically use that for our next part of the strategy. But this is the quote I mean because you're a puppet. And that must mean that Cloud is subjected to a force that he has no control over of his personality by Genova. And you don't realize this until later on in the story of what it actually means. It does have a particular form of significance later on. And of course, all the characters are mourning. It's a very sad scene. It's very emotional, very sad scene. Very sudden how it actually all occurs. So now comes the main part of the climax where we move on forward and basically, essentially, give her a proper send off in a river of some sort. All right. Well, you'll be missed because she really did help us out throughout the story, so it shall be missed. And of course, she floats downwards and there just goes into black. And that's basically the scene, that really changed the entire industry for forever, in terms of history. So, now we're moving on forward where he basically says what we knew all along, he basically is trying to settle up with the antagonist, and he basically cannot control everything by free will. He apparently thought he came there by free will, but since he's a puppet, he thinks the worst case scenario is that he didn't come there by free will, and they were just orchestrating the whole thing. And of course, if his friends hadn't stopped him, he would have probably done something terrible. Which is also another thing that plays into part in the story. But it's okay because we're gonna keep going no matter what. And of course, he's still trying to figure out who he is as a character throughout the story. So this is just the end of the first part, but it's still remarkable how far this character has come since the beginning. That's character development for sure. And of course, we're trying to stop meteor from happening and all that, and that falls into the line of the second disc when it does occur. All right, so we're going to save the game at this point, and we're going to call it a day here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video. And yeah, thank you for all the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.